My husband faked a haunting to steal my fortune.
It's such a roller coaster. It starts like a ghost story,
Right.
then it morphs into this domestic crime drama, and it ends with a kind of Home Alone reversal that is just chef's kiss.
And you have to stay with us for this. We are going to celebrate a moment of justice so satisfying that I actually fist pumped reading it. So let's set the scene. We've got our protagonist, Evelyn. She's 32, and the source is very clear. She's old money.
Generational wealth, the whole package.
Right. And then there's Julian, 35, a struggling kind of brooding architect.
You can see the fault lines in the foundation right away.
Oh, absolutely. And Julian plays this humble artist role to perfection. Evelyn writes that when they first met, he looked her right in the eye and said, quote, "I don't care about the millions. I would live with you in a cardboard box."
Can we just pause on that line?
Mm-hmm.
Because psychologically, that is a very specific move. It's strategic disarmament. By verbally rejecting the money, he makes her feel safe to share it. He's signaling, I am not a threat to your assets, which is, the first step in getting access to those assets.
It's a loss leader in a long con. And it worked. 6 months before this all goes down, they move into this massive high-tech mansion. Evelyn paid for it, but Julian designed it.
His vision, his sanctuary.
Exactly. But almost immediately, Evelyn says she started losing her mind.
This is what we call the golden cage phase. The environment itself becomes hostile.
It didn't start with ghosts, though. It started small, with her memory.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond earrings would vanish from the nightstand. She'd panic, and Julian would be right there rubbing her back, saying, "Honey, you lost them again. You're becoming so forgetful lately."
And that's stage 1 of gaslighting.
Yeah.
Destabilization. The goal is to make the victim doubt their own senses. If I can convince you that your memory is faulty, then I become the keeper of reality.
You have to outsource your truth to him.
Exactly. You can't trust your own brain anymore.
And once he established she was fragile, he escalated. And this is where the house comes in. Evelyn describes the temperature just swinging wildly.
Physical discomfort is a great way to wear someone down.
She'd be sitting there, middle of summer, and the room would suddenly plunge into this bone-chilling cold.
Wow.
And then the sounds. This is the part that really gave me chills. Whispers coming out of the walls at 3 a.m.
Not just random noises, I bet.
No! She says it was her dead mother's voice calling her name.
That is just incredibly cruel. Her mother had just passed away, right?
Recently, yeah.
So he's using grief as a weapon that is a specific kind of evil. By using her mother's voice, he's triggering this state of high emotional distress. Your logical brain, it just shuts down. You're not going to troubleshoot the speaker system.
You're just going to curl up in a ball and cry, which is what she did. And Julian's reaction, he doesn't panic. He plays the savior. He holds her while she sobs and says, "Evelyn, there is no sound. The house is warm. You're having another episode."
That's the knockout punch. She feels coals. He says it's warm. She hears a voice. He says it's silence. It creates this cognitive dissonance the brain just can't handle. So she breaks. She has to assume she's insane.
Because the alternative that her husband is torturing her is just too horrible to even think about.
And of course, he's got the solution ready.
We need to up your dosage.
Right. Pathologize her reaction. He's building a narrative and probably a paper trail that she is medically incompetent.
Which leads us straight to part 2 of this nightmare, the jailer. Julian decides Evelyn is dangerous to herself, so he hires a live-in nurse. Enter Chloe.
Chloe, 26. And it becomes very clear, very fast, this is not a caregiver.
No. Evelyn calls her a jailer in a tight uniform. The whole dynamic shifts from psychological manipulation to, actual physical imprisonment.
Isolation is key.
Chloe blocked Evelyn's friends on her phone, controlled all communication.
You have to remove the reality checkers. If a friend came over and said, "Hey, why is it freezing in here?" the whole plot would just collapse. Chloe's job was to make sure that never happened.
There's this one detail about the sensory abuse that really stuck with me. Evelyn mentions smelling her own Chanel perfume one day.
But she wasn't wearing it.
It was coming from Chloe.
That's a pure dominance display.
Totally. And when Evelyn confronted her, Chloe just smirked and said, "You're imagining smells now, Mrs. Sterling. Poor thing."
It's so insidious. It reinforces the insanity narrative, but it's also Chloe marking her territory. She is literally stealing the wife's scent, her role. It's pure humiliation.
But it gets worse. Evelyn describes being given daily injections. Sedatives, they called them.
Oh, no.
But she says they paralyzed her body while leaving her mind completely wide awake.
That is a terrifying sensation. It's chemically induced locked-in syndrome.
She describes months of this, lying there, unable to move, drooling, while Julian and Chloe just stopped hiding it. He'd stand in the doorway, brushing Chloe's hair, whispering jokes to her.
Well, his wife is right there.
Fully conscious, but trapped in her own body.
Psychologically, that's the furniture dynamic. They have completely dehumanized her. She's not a person anymore. She's an object. An obstacle to be managed until it can be disposed of. That's a level of empathy void that borders on psychopathy.
Which brings us to the breaking point. Christmas Eve, 2025. The house is decorated, there's a turkey roasting, but Evelyn's locked in her room, and Chloe comes in.
And let me guess, she's wearing something of Evelyn's.
She is wearing Evelyn's red dress, the one she bought for her 30th birthday.
Of course she is. It's the final step of the replacement. She's symbolically wearing her skin.
Chloe leans over with a syringe, whispers, "Merry Christmas, crazy lady," and gives her the injection.
The arrogance is just palpable. They're so sure they've won.
But arrogance creates blind spots. Chloe injects her, locks the door, but she missed the vein.
A simple, sloppy human error.
The drug makes Evelyn dizzy, but it doesn't knock her out. So she drags herself out of bed. Her legs are jelly. She has to crawl inch by inch just to get to the master bathroom for some water.
That survival instinct is just an incredible thing.
She pulls herself up to the marble counter, and she finds what she calls a Christmas miracle.
The iPad.
Julian's iPad Pro, left right there next to an empty champagne bottle. He was drunk, sloppy, and he left it unlocked.
And that changes everything. Until this moment, all she has is her subjective experience, the cold, the voices. She feels crazy. The iPad is objective data.
It's the validation she's been starved of. She opens the smart home app, and instead of just, a light switch, she finds the activity history.
And there it is. The ghost story debunked by code.
Listen to these logs. 8:0 p.m. Lockmaster bedroom door. User, Julian.
Proof of false imprisonment. Right there.
And then this one, last week, 3:0 a.m. Play sound file. Momcallinghelp.mp3 volume 100%.
Oh, wow. Read that file extension again.
Momcallinghelp.mp3.
.mp3 extension.
Okay.
That hit me hard when I read it. It strips away all the mystery. It confirms premeditation. He sat at a computer, edited that file, named it, and uploaded it. It wasn't haunting.
This is a playlist.
A playlist of cruelty.
And it keeps going. Strobe lights. Bedroom only duration. 20 minutes. And on Halloween night, thermostat override. Set to 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's 4 degrees Celsius. That is dangerously cold. That's not a ghost. That's HVAC abuse.
Evelyn writes, quote, "It wasn't a ghost haunting me. It was my husband playing a video game with my sanity."
That analogy is perfect. The smart home interface was his controller. And Evelyn was just an NPC, a non-player character that he was manipulating for points.
And the motive is clear in the logs, too. He was trying to drive her to suicide to get the estate.
Because a divorce means splitting assets. A suicide, he plays the grieving widower, inherits everything. It's a cold, calculated financial strategy.
So Evelyn has the proof, but then she does something that I think shows just how strong she really is. She clicks on the living room camera feed.
She needs to see them. She needs to look the enemy in the eye.
And the image is just heartbreaking. It's like a romantic movie downstairs. Fires roaring, trees sparkling. Julian's on the white leather sofa with vintage wine, her vintage wine. And Chloe is on his lap wearing a Santa hat. And Evelyn's grandmother's diamond necklace.
Stealing her identity right down to the family heirlooms.
She turns up the volume on the feed. Julian asks, "Did you check on the vegetable upstairs?"
The vegetable. There's that dehumanization again. If you call her a vegetable, you don't have to feel guilty.
Chloe calls her pathetic, talks about redecorating. But then Julian lays out the master plan. The lawyer is coming in the morning. Evelyn is going to sign power of attorney. And then they're committing her to an asylum.
The end game. Once he has power of attorney, it's over.
And if she doesn't sign, Julian laughs and says, then the ghosts might tell her to jump off the balcony. Accidents happen.
A direct threat. They were never going to let her out of that house alive.
In that moment, Evelyn says something just shifts. The sadness evaporates, and it's replaced by pure, cold rage.
And rage can be an incredibly clarifying emotion. Sadness paralyzes you, but rage mobilizes you.
She looks down at the iPad in her hands, and she realizes, I am holding the control panel to this entire house.
The weapon they used against her is now in her hands.
She doesn't call the police right away. Oh, no. She decides to play with them first. Step 1, the cage.
Goes the security tab.
And she presses, engage all locks. She says she could hear the heavy thud of steel bolts sliding into place all over the house.
Now they're the prisoners. The script has been flipped.
Step 2, the freezer. She sets the living room temperature to lowest setting and cranks on the high-speed fans.
The fire goes out, the cold sets in. It is perfect poetic justice.
And then step 3, my absolute favorite part, the voice of God. She accesses the intercom system.
Every speaker in the house.
Yeah.
Maximum volume.
She clears her throat and she just booms. Merry Christmas, you filthy
A
animals.
Home Alone reference. You have to appreciate the dark humor there.
It is legendary. And she's watching on the camera. Julian drops the red wine all over the white leather sofa. Chloe falls off his lap screaming.
Because they know. In that instant, they understand the power dynamic has completely inverted. They are not the masters of the house anymore.
Evelyn's voice comes over again, calm now. Julian, I hope you enjoyed the wine. It costs more than your life is worth. And Chloe, take off my grandmother's necklace or I will come down there and rip it off myself.
She's reasserting ownership of her things, of her space, of her life.
Julian runs to the front door, yanking on it. It's locked tight. He looks at the camera, just pale, and starts begging. Evelyn, baby, let me explain.
Let me explain. The narcissist's last resort when force fails.
And Evelyn's response is just perfect. She says, explain it to the cops, Julian. I just emailed them the video of you planning my murder. They are 5 minutes away.
That's the critical move, securing the evidence. Without that video, he could have tried to gaslight the police, claim she was crazy, and trap them. But the video confession seals their fate.
The story ends with her watching them on the little screen, shivering, crying, banging on the windows, and she's just sitting there in the bathroom pouring a glass of water from the tap.
The hunter became the prey. It's a perfect tableau of victory.
It really is. The same technology he used to torment her became the tool for her liberation.
Absolutely. Technology is neutral. It just amplifies the user's intent. In his hands, it was a weapon. In hers, it was a fortress of justice.
It does make you think, though. It raises that question of how much control we hand over to these systems.
Right. If you can't manually override your own front door, do you really own your house? Or does the software?
Scary thought. But in this case, thank goodness for those steel bolts in that app.
Indeed. A very modern, very satisfying ending.
Evelyn ends her story with a question for the listeners, and I think it's the perfect way to wrap this up. She asks, when the police take them away, should I wave from the balcony in my pajamas, or should I put on a dress and smile for the mugshots?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
I was thinking the pajamas. Like, I'm so comfortable in my warm house while you go to jail. It's a flex of comfort.
See, I disagree. I think it has to do the dress.
Really? Why the dress?
The dress signals, I am the mistress of this estate. I am dignified. I am sane. And you are nothing.
It's the final power move. It says, you didn't break me. In fact, I look great.
You know what? You're right. Put on the dress, Evelyn. Put on the red dress.
And maybe take the champagne bottle, too.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for this deep dive into the smart home from hell. It's a reminder to, check your security logs and maybe keep a physical key handy.
And if your house starts whispering to you, check the iPad before you check your head.
Wise words. Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.